thank you so much for joining me for Daily Spark TV. I am your host, Dr. Angela Butchester. I'm so excited to have you here with us today. My guest is Diane Walter, and we will be talking about her book, Over the Years, My Poems, Songs, and More. So today we will be talking about faith and spiritual growth. You know what I like to do on my show? I want to enlighten you. I want to inspire you. I want to empower you. And that is our goal today. So go on, get comfy, get cozy, get your coffee or get your tea because we are about to get started. Good morning, Diane. Thank you so much for being on Daily Spark TV with me today.
Good morning, Angela. Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad that you are here, and you are one of our international guests today. So thank you so much for spending time with us here today. Now, before we talk about your book, we may have a few viewers out there that are unfamiliar with you or with your work. Could you tell us a little bit about who you are? What makes you you?
What makes me me? Well, I am a poet, so my book consists of poems, which originally I wrote for myself, and so they're very, very personal. And I am a strong Christian with the Christian faith, and I do quite a bit of volunteering at my church. I also do a bit of tap dancing and exercises on the ballet bar just for my own exercise.
And, absolutely.
Yeah, I do go to Bible studies twice a week and to church on Sundays. And at the moment with COVID, the way it's been, I'm not really going out a lot at all.
Right, right. But like you said, it's really good to move our bodies and to make sure that we're exercising as much as we can, just so that we can be the healthy beings that we need to be. So I definitely understand that. And unfortunately, COVID has kind of modified some of our goings on. So absolutely, I'm glad that you're still able to do something, even if it's not everything that you wanted to do before. Now, being an author, is that something that you have always wanted to do, or did you find that it just presented itself at the right time and you took advantage of that?
Yes, that's what happened. At school, I remember studying poetry in a primary school, actually, and I didn't like it. I didn't understand it. And so I didn't really start writing down poems until, I was probably in my 40s by then. And poems just started to come to me, or something that I would write down for that I thought might be a song. So it just sort of happened. And I went a little bit further. One day I saw an advertisement for a competition, so I entered the competition, and I actually got into the semi-final.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, so I just write poems now as they come to me, really, and that can be anytime, anywhere.
And you know, that's the beautiful thing I think about being an author is that there's no time constraints. You know, you can write as you are so enlightened, and you just gather it and put it together when you feel that it's ready to be a published work. So I love that. Now, the title of your book, and I want to make sure I say it correctly, Over the Years, My Poems, Songs, and More. And it sounds like you kind of hinted at that. Over the years. Is that how you came about the title?
Yes, because the poems are very personal, many of them. They're about my own experiences over the years. And I look back on my family and things that have happened there and different people that I've been in contact with. And it's just started from there. So I've got things about pets that I've had, friends, family, activities I've done. Yes, so it's hard to know when it's going to happen.
Now, what was your process for selecting the stories to include, or how did you determine which ones you wanted to exclude?
Well, in fact, I didn't make any decisions like that. I had all these poems written down on bits of paper everywhere, and some I had even written in strange places, like on the tablecloth at a restaurant, that sort of thing. And so I wanted to get them all together into a book form, and mainly for myself and my family, really. And then like I said, I went into that competition, and then I thought, well, maybe I can get the book published, do something about that. And so that was about, I think that was first time was about 2017,
Mhm.
and had the book, well, it's self-published, so I did that back then.
Mhm.
Yes, and out at the moment is just the same poems. I think I've added about 4 new poems to it. So
Mhm.
it's just the same poems with a new cover.
Now, how do you suggest that a reader actually read your book of poetry? Should they read it straight through like they would any other novel? Or do you suggest that they perhaps read a page a day, kind of like read the chapter a week, so to speak? How do you suggest that they read the book?
Yes, I think that's a good way to do it, is to read a poem a day. And it might be that you read it through and maybe you don't get it completely at first. So it might be good to read it again another time, maybe 2 or 3 times,
Mhm.
and you can work out from the title usually what it's about. But there are a lot of personal things in there, and there are a few other um, things that I thought were funny. So whether the reader would agree, I don't know. But yes, to choose maybe 1 or 2 poems. I don't think you need to go through the book from front to back if you don't want to. Just sort of open up a page and see what that poem's about.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, when you put the book together and you collected everything and you determined this one should be included, this is going to be a part of my finished work. Did you have a particular reader in mind? Are your poems appropriate for our young adults, or perhaps our teenagers even, or did you make it very audience general in that anyone who's interested in poetry can pick up a copy of your book?
Yes, I think that's how you would describe it. It's just very general, probably something there for everybody. And I originally wrote it for myself, and I had my family in mind that they might like to read what I'm talking, about what I'm talking about. So I had something about my mother who had passed away, and so I wrote something about her. So very personal things that have happened in my life. And I think when people read the poems, they might they might see something in the poem that reflects themselves as well, or things that they may have done or thought about. Yes, so I think
Mhm.
poetry is a very personal thing for the reader as well.
You're right. I have to agree there. When you're reading poetry, it does seem as though you're getting to see a glimpse of the person that's actually writing. Poetry tends to be a very intimate way of sharing one's thoughts and ideas, and you get a bit of their personality included. I have to agree with you on that. Now, the fact that you have chosen to include bits and pieces of your faith, of your belief system, why was it important to make sure that you included that spiritual development, that personal faith aspect in the book?
I think that is it's a part of my life. It's not something that I do on purpose and plan to do. It's just a part of my life. And so sometimes poems or just one line of a poem will just come to me, and I will start to write it down. And if it is faith-based, then that's what it is. And yes, and so again, it's my personal experiences, and obviously through things that I've read before as well, including the Bible. And so I might get a topic in mind, or might be something that I've been wondering about myself. It might be an actual experience that I've had, or people that I've been with, and something has just struck me. I've either felt it in my heart, or an idea has come to me. It's not like I sit and decide, well, today I'm going to write a poem about when I go to church. Occasionally I might do it that way, but usually it's because something has come to my mind. And sometimes I can actually write a poem in about 5 or 10 minutes. Other times it might take days, even longer, before I can finish it.
Just depending on how it expresses itself to you is how you're able to express it. I definitely can understand that. Now, would you say that you are a person who grew up in a faith-based home? Did you grow up in the church? Is that something that your parents shared with you? Or would you say that you came to your faith and your relationship with God as an adult, much later?
Well, that's interesting, because I grew up in a Jewish home, and we were not what you would call strict with our habits, with the Jewish ways of doing things. So I think I had a very open mind to that. And then you hear things, and you would see something in a movie, that, especially some of the older American movies where people were at church as a part of the story. A little girlfriend of mine across the road from where I lived invited me to her Sunday school one time, so I went there. And I got to a point one time when I was quite interested and asked, could I go to a Sunday school, a Jewish Sunday school. So we did that for a while. So it was, I had several epiphanies, really, you could call them. And so I became a Christian, but it wasn't a thing that happened in a big flash immediately. It happened over a period of months, really. It wasn't much longer than that, I don't think. Yes, and of course I had many questions, and what I knew of Christianity, like I said, was what I'd seen in the movies, or heard other people talking about. So there was a bit of a culture shock when I first went to the church, but everyone was very welcoming. It was a brand new church, actually, and I had a message in my mind that I was going to help build the church. And I had just moved into a new house in the suburb, not far from where I am now. And so I thought, the week after I moved in, I thought, I'll see if there's a church, because maybe that's somewhere nice to meet people, to meet nice people. That was one of my main reasons for going. And so I did that on the second week, and I quite liked it. They took me under their wing. I went to Bible study, and gradually I began to understand what it was all about, and I received Jesus as my Lord and Saviour, and have developed from there.
You could be spreading the coronavirus without realizing you have it, so do your part and stay home. It's important to limit in-person interaction with anyone outside of your immediate household, but phone and video chat are safe ways to connect. It's also important to limit social gatherings. If you need essential items like food and medicine, try using a delivery service. If you must leave your house for essential items, or if you want to take a walk for exercise, make sure to wear a cloth face covering. Stay at least 6 feet away from other people. Try not to touch frequently touched surfaces like light signals, street signs, or benches. And wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds as often as possible. This advice applies to people of any age, including teens and younger adults. It takes all of us to slow the spread of the coronavirus, so stay home unless absolutely necessary. Visit coronavirus.gov for the latest information.
Have the past few weeks or months been challenging? Yes, for all of us. We've been thrown into circumstances which we could never have imagined. Loss of jobs, working from home, general uncertainty, all while dealing with COVID. It's causing us to be a little on edge. If you need someone to talk to, Dr. Angela Chester can help. Visit newlifepastoralcounseling.com to get started. We're in this together.
I wear a mask because
I wear a mask because it's a tiny sacrifice to protect your freedoms.
I wear a mask because I can help stop the spread of COVID-19 in my community.
I wear a mask because I care about you, even if I don't know you.
I want to keep doctors, nurses, and other essential workers safe.
I wear a mask because I can, but my baby can't.
I wear a mask because I want to feel safe sending my kids back to school. My kids wear masks to keep their friends safe.
I wear a mask because I want you to stay healthy.
I wear a mask because I really want to get a haircut soon.
I wear a mask because I care about the health and well-being of those around me.
I wear a mask because I might not know that I'm sick.
Yo uso una máscara para mi familia y la comunidad.
I wear a mask because I want to keep others safe.
I wear a mask because I want to protect everybody.
I wear a mask because too many people who look like me are getting sick and dying from COVID-19.
I've grown fond of seeing people smile with their eyes. It's a beautiful experience in these times.
Do it for their futures.
Even if you don't have to, I hope you choose to.
Welcome to Daily Spark TV. Are you an author with a faith-based book? Be a guest. Serious about your product or service and want to try something new? Sponsor an episode. I see you're ready to get started. So visit drangela.chester.com. Thanks again for watching Daily Spark TV.
So that's amazing. I'm so glad that you shared that story. Now, moving forward, do you think that your faith continues to play a vital role in who you are? I know that for what I do, who I am and what I do is so interlaced in my faith that it's hard to separate out the two. And I think that that's what you were saying as well. But do you think that your faith continues to lead you and guide you in just your day-to-day doings?
Definitely, yes, I can say that it does. It's not to say I'm totally aware of it all day, every day. I know it's there in me, but there are some things I notice myself perhaps doing that maybe that's not a good thing to do, or not a good thing to think that way. And so I have to sort of keep checking myself that I'm not sinning, I guess, really is what it is. But of course we all do. But apart from that, I go to a couple of Bible studies a week when they're on. They're not always on. And the church service, which at the moment, perhaps you're aware over there as well, but at the moment in church services, we're not allowed to sing and we have to have our masks on. And so at the moment, it is quite different in that respect. And we're not staying back afterwards for a morning tea, which we normally would do. And it's a lot harder to communicate with each other as we would have normally done. But we find ways to do those things. And our church actually has an online service. So in the 10 o'clock in the morning, that service is also videoed and is online at the same time. Yeah, so there are some things that I do that are related to ministries that I'm involved in the church. All of last year with the COVID situation, the ministries stopped really, which was quite sad. But they're starting up again, and we're trying to work out ways to do things in a COVID-safe way. One of the ministries I do have is to teach English as a second language. And we have people coming to the church into the hall, and we have a 2-hour lesson of teaching English. And the Anglican Church has an organisation that sort of supervises the ESL, we call it, English as a second language. And so we have training days, and but we have a lot of fun with our students, and we have some morning tea. Occasionally we might have a day of cooking because a lot of people enjoy actually cooking. We've got a big enough kitchen where we can do that. And we do a variety of things in that class, and it's all revolves around teaching English. And we also use the Bible to teach English from the Bible, so they're hearing the story of Jesus as well. And that has
is awesome. I love everything that you're saying, and I think that that's you have probably inspired someone, given someone some ideas, saying, "Oh my goodness, we could do that in our church as well." Because you're right, I think we are missing that fellowship that we're used to having. Many churches are not gathering in sanctuary yet. They're still just doing online services. But even for the people that are gathering in sanctuary, it's still not full capacity. So you do miss being able to socialize with your brothers and sisters in Christ. And it really is different. And I think people are adjusting as best they can, but we can't wait until we're able to really get back to having that time together. But you've given some really great examples of some ways that we can live out our faith, but also at the same time be very much in that teacher mode, in that we're assisting someone and making sure that they are their best, but we're also fellowshipping with them and having that agape love for each other, and just having some socializing time. That iron sharpening iron is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So you are definitely living out scripture, and I think that is amazing. I love that. I love that. The last question for you, and that is for anyone who purchases a copy of the book. What do you want them to take away from having read your book of poetry?
I think, speaking from the point of view of having faith, I think just think about it, really. And when you read a poem, it's like you get into the story of it. And so you try to see yourself in that situation, or maybe something that you know in that situation. But some of the poems are just read it and it is what it is. Take it for literally as it is. So some of the poems I have are quite serious. Some are just light and with an attempt at humour. Some are a bit more factual. Some are definitely, I've got a few poems in there that I actually wrote specifically for someone's birthday, for example. So a real person who I gave a copy to for their birthday present.
Ah, how nice.
Well, I hope they enjoyed it. Yes.
I love it. I love it. Well, Diane, I want to give just the last few moments for you for anyone who didn't know where to get a copy, if we can remind everyone, what is the title of your book? Where can we get a copy? And if someone wants to stay in contact with you, how should they do that?
Okay. So the book is called Over the Years, My Poems, Songs and More. And my pen name, Diane Walter. And it is available at Amazon. And I have got an older copy of the book out, which was published originally, and that's still on sale. But the new book has a different cover. So can I show the actual book on, if I can get it? That's just off my tablet. I don't know. Can you see that?
Yes.
So that's the newest. That's the newest one with the flowers on the front.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Diane, thank you so much for spending time with me here on Daily Spark TV and for sharing your beautiful book with our viewers today.
Oh, you're very welcome, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for spending time with us here today as well. We appreciate your spending your morning here with us. I hope that we have enlightened, inspired, and empowered you to be your best. Until next time, everyone, remember, you are blessed in the Lord. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Welcome to Daily Spark TV. Are you an author with a faith-based book? Be a guest. Serious about your product or service and want to try something new? Sponsor an episode. I see you're ready to get started. So visit drangellachester.com. Thanks again for watching Daily Spark TV.